G'day guys, welcome. I'm Ben Wortley, natural bodybuilding champion and Team Gentech athlete. And we got the big man himself. Introduce yourself there, Justin.
Yeah, look, Justin Wessels at NABA, bodybuilder, Mr. Australia, Masters, Mr. World. There's Mr. a few things there, but
It's quite
really
a pleasure, mate.
looking forward to ripping through a workout with young Ben. Never trained with Benny before, so this will be cool.
So what we're going to start off with, Justin and I think it would be a bit of fun if we did a movement that was sort of my style of training. So exercise one, we're going to do about a mid-grip chin-up, focusing on that mid-lat region. We're going to superset it over onto the cables with a close grip, isolated kneeling pull-down. Anytime doing chins, I try and think about driving my elbows down towards the ground and pushing my chest up to the bar. That way I find I get a much better recruitment of the lats. Nice, mate, good. Excellent. From that one, we're gonna go straight over here. This is a new combo I've tried recently. Something a little bit unusual, but I found it worked really well. So, larger compound movement to start with, and this one here more so focusing on the squeeze. So I tuck my head through to get that lat stretch, push my chest up, squeeze through the lats again, slowly extending, tuck my head through, get the stretch, and then draw back. So just that small little movement at the end there, where I tuck, almost imagining shoulders to ear, it's gonna force that lat into its fully lengthened position. So you wanna, anytime you're doing a movement, make sure you fully lengthen the muscle before taking it into its most contracted position, which is when it's most shortened. So making sure we emphasize that full range of motion. Again, first movement, that's more so maximum muscle recruitment, nice big compound. Second one, burning it out, isolating, because we are quite close to comps, both Justin and myself. A really good one to really feel that contraction and squeeze, almost trying to bring out that Christmas tree separation through the lower lat. Justin is pumped.
That was
It's good. It's a good little one to start.
It's a nice combo.
Yeah.
I think that as a standalone might struggle a little bit to get the desired effect, but like you said, as a superset, second time round, that hits the spot nicely.
Perfect as a finisher for a workout, or like we were just saying then, a superset. I almost relate this one a little bit to your straight arm pull-throughs. Again, I probably wouldn't do it as a standalone for a compound or a mass building effect, but throw it in as a superset or as a pre-fatigue to really isolate the lats. It's a great little choice. Up. Good. And yeah, let's go. What number? Nice. Excellent. So you see you got the full stretch and driving that chest up. Really try and drive the chest up to the bar. Shorten that area between the bar and the chest. Let's go, mate. Come on. And again, come on. Push. Yep. Another. Let's go, squeeze, chest up. Nice. Well done, mate. I actually have only, after 10 years of training, 2 new things for me. Normally I only wear a belt on squats or deads, but I've started incorporating this a little bit lately just to, I do have a hernia that's retorn, so I find it just keeps me more so mentally accountable, making sure that my midsection is braced the whole time. Not so much for the support factor, but I feel it's on, and then that in turn makes me switch on and activate. And these, I won in a prize pack from the ICN show, and I used to see a lot of guys in the gym use them, and I hadn't actually tried them myself, but I think they're fantastic. They're a great little wrist strap support, particularly through your pressing motions. Even if it's more of a placebo effect or just a mental confidence booster, you do feel stronger. So if you haven't tried them before and you do have any issues with your wrists or just want to feel a little bit stronger, give them a crack. I think they're about $20, so.
My back training over the years has modified somewhat just to cope with injuries. So bulging disc, L3, L4, L4, L5. All my bent over movements are supported. The other thing I like to do when we train back, if we do some pulling movements, I like to do some rowing movements. So we've done a couple of pulling movements. Going to do some rows. Going to jump on the 45-degree bench face down. We're going to do some dumbbell rows. So what we're going to target with some nice strict form, as in particular through those rhomboids, the traps in the middle back, just to get that hard to hit area again. And the way we'll perform the exercise is a nice stretch and a dead stop at the bottom, up the full contraction and a brief pause at the top. Works really well.
Something like this with your supported row, you've got a heap of options you can do. Quite often I'll go close grip, so almost trying to brush your elbows through to your lats. I find we target a bit more through that mid-lower lat region. If you were to go a bit more higher elbows and arcing out to the sides, you'll find a lot more rear delt recruitment through the upper back, but as a result, you have to drop that weight back quite a bit. So this position we're doing today is almost a mid position, I would say, and I am slightly further off the bench than what I'd normally do it, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm finding definitely get that big contraction through the top there, like Justin said, through the rhomboids, right through the traps. I'm feeling it from my upper traps, right through the lower, and still keeping those lats engaged as well. You find as well, if you want to feel a lat stretch a little more at the bottom of the rep rather than just stopping there, if you actually extend forward a little, you will again lengthen that lat. With the weight we're pushing then though, it's going to be a lot harder to try and stretch that forward. So keep in mind, if you do want to get that lat stretch, you might need to tone back the weight a little just to make sure you get that form on point. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Up. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. Come on. Up. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Good job.
No, thank you.
Excellent. That's one way I like to train a lot is I like a lot of volume and intensity overload principles like drop setting, supersetting, rest pausing. Particularly after coming back from a couple of shoulder recons, I find it's a great way to still really reach failure and overload that muscle without necessarily having to go just maximum weight, which can take its toll on the joints. Plus, Justin and I are both pretty close to competition, so there's an injury risk that gets involved and your strength will start to diminish a bit before the comp. So it's a great way to still really push yourself to that limit and beyond, but dare I say, a little bit more safely.
It's probably the one time you particularly the most vulnerable to injury is pre-contest, when body fat levels are extremely low. All the joints and connective tissues are very, very dry. The body's normally a little stressed. Have to be really careful. Squeeze. Good. Up, squeeze.
1, 2,
Good.
3.
Up, squeeze.
1, 2.
Good.
There you go.
Up. Good. Come. Again. Up. Good set. Good set.
Like I said. Easy, mate. Just under the hands on your dumbbells.
On the wrist.
I like to train pretty instinctively, so quite often I'll go into the gym, obviously knowing my target muscle group, but sometimes you can have the ideal workout planned in your head. You're going into a gym at 5, 6 o'clock at night, equipment can be taken, so I think it's important to have an element of flexibility in your training program. So now, I think if we went, as a bit of I'd like to do another superset if you're cool with that.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we go close grip pull down into maybe a close grip row. So 2 exercises targeting close, really focusing on keeping the elbows close to the midline now.
But just on that point, I'm the same as Benny. So when I walk into a gym, I know what body part I'm going to train. Say for example, I walked into my commercial gym today. I know I'm training back, but the exercise selection is exactly what he said, dependent upon, maybe to a degree what you feel like when you get there, but certainly how busy the gym and what equipment is available. And then I'll call it as I see it and conduct my workout that way. Always train like that, and works well.
I think it also, that style of training keeps things fun and exciting as well, because you can mix it up, and rather than going in and doing the same movements week in, week out, that's something a lot of people fall in the trap of, especially the movements that they really enjoy. You find they form the staple of their routine, and the exercises that they don't enjoy so much will often get neglected. So by training instinctively, definitely have an idea of obviously movements that you want to, say, for example, talking on back, movements that you want to, say, stimulate the lats, and some more rowing movements, but feel free to mix it up. Have some fun with it, and don't be afraid to try new things as well. 10 years into training, I'm still learning every single week. Always be like a sponge, taking advice from anyone you can that has been there and done that. It's my first time ever training with Justin, so I'm taking in everything he's saying, and it always pays to get another opinion, and like I said, yeah, try things new. What's the old saying? A wise man knows he knows nothing at all. So feel free to always mix it up, and you can teach an old dog new tricks, I reckon.
Well, I think today you think you know everything, today you're going to fail.
Yep. So sometimes even just what I've found experimenting over the years, things adjusting, for example, where your head is, will actually really affect how you're hitting that target muscle and where you're feeling the stretch as well. So you notice on my pull downs, at the top of the range of motion, same as the chin ups, I always try and think delts to ears. Again, fully lengthening that lat so you get a maximal stretch. Probably run the seat a little bit higher on this one so that the handles come a little bit lower, which again, we target the lower lat a little bit more, which we are focusing on with our pull down. Okay. Oh, that's good. So I'll stretch forward, using that head, lengthen, and contract.
Come on.
Me.
Nice.
3 more. 2.
Come on. Same rep tempo, I'll get it.
With this one here that Justin's doing, I try and think about driving down through the pinkies and elbows. So if you think about the pinkies and elbows and pushing your chest right up to that handle, you'll get a really big contraction to that mid-lower lat. Easy, mate. Good. Good. Come on. Excellent. Keep repping them out. So see Justin, he's lengthening as well, dropping that head forward, pulling back through the rear of the elbows. Nice, mate, perfect. Let's go, let's hit that number. Come on, let's hit that number. Good. How many have we got? 3. Let's get 3, come on. 2 to go. Squeeze. 1 more to be number 1, come on. Squeeze. Nice. Well done, mate. Good job. With this one, I find as well, using that false grip as opposed to wrapping the hands around, I find by using that false grip, it forces me to think of my hands more like hooks again, so then I can focus on more driving through my elbows rather than using that traditional grip. Most people find that their forearms will take over a little bit and also maybe pull through their biceps a little more. So by me hooking around false grip, think about my elbows, I'm able to target my lats a lot more and worry less about the arms. Up. Squeeze.
Come on.
The only problem I find, I really like this machine. You find a lot of gyms will have it. The only downside, especially doing a superset when your heart rate's getting quite high, having that chest and midsection push up against the padding can make it a little uncomfortable.
This makes it difficult to breathe.
It does make it difficult to breathe, so.
You need the oxygen to complete the set.
Correct,
That's hard.
correct. So you may even find reversing these two as a superset might even work better. Like we were saying before, train instinctively, have some fun with it. Don't be afraid to try new things. So this is one I actually haven't done it, that reverse combo, but after today, I'm thinking it might be worth a crack.
It's one of those things, you know, typically an athlete in any endeavour wants to get better at it, but wants to increase their efficiency at it, yeah? So what we typically do as bodybuilders is whatever we perform, we try and perform it with the highest level of difficulty, so we don't actually increase the efficiency, we make it more difficult to perform because of the nature of what we're trying to achieve.
Typically pre-contest I don't train with a training partner, only because I find you like to bump your pace up a little bit, shorten those rests right down so you increase the intensity of your workout with shorter breaks, high volume, plenty of lactic running through the body as opposed to your bigger, heavier sets, longer rests, which is when a great time can be for a training partner. But pre-contest, I like to go headphones in, load off, get it done, really focus, get that mind-muscle connection, but it's a nice, refreshing change to be able to train with someone and get that a little bit more of a push. You get that spot as well. You can go to failure by yourself. That's one thing, but to go to failure and then beyond with a spotter, completely different. It's completely different. It'll put you on your ass every time. So absolutely loving it. Let's go again.
Good man. I'm the same as Ben there towards the end in a comp prep. I like to train by myself, but I think the reason I enjoy doing that is I like being a little bit more instinctive. You know, like you're pushing yourself, you know, to your limits, you know, physically and mentally. All your focus is on the comp. You don't have energy for anything outside of that. So when I train, I like to be able to do my own thing at my own pace, whatever I want, and just concentrate on me. So towards the death by yourself, I really do enjoy that. But as you said, outside of that, training with someone at times where you can push each other, that's gold.
And get big squeeze all the way down, all the way. Nice. Well done. Even just spotting Justin then, you can feel that he keeps that muscle, that target muscle engaged the entire set, which is a big thing, that mind-muscle connection. So as Justin was saying before, you can actually overload an exercise, not necessarily just by adding more weight, but by increasing that focus and that tension, that time under tension through the muscle group. So really making sure you are squeezing that target muscle group rather than incorporating the surrounding muscles to take over and easing the load. All right, let's go. 1, 2, good, perfect 4, mate. 3, feel it where you want to feel it, come on. 4, nice. Let's go, come on. Up, good, again, come on. So we're still using a pyramid scheme here where we're bumping the weight up each set, and as a result, the reps are coming down a touch. So it's a traditional method, and the reason it is still used is because it does work so well. So now I'm probably going to get about, I would estimate about 6 to 8 here. And what I'm going to do is typically on my last set, I like to overload it a little bit more with some more volume. So doing something like a drop set or a super set. But given that I've gone up on this one as well, I'm actually going to go from here into this one and then lighten it and go back to the first movement again, just to make sure that we get that extra little bit of pump, force that bit of blood in there, and make sure we take it past failure and beyond. See where I go there, should get that. I'll probably end up getting 7, it's my favourite number here. All right.
Come on. You gotta get 2 more. And again. Come on.
Give you my favourite number of the 5.
Up. Go on, buddy. You got it. Let's go. Come on. Let's do it. Come on. Come on. Again. Let's do it. 2, easy. 3, nice. 4, good.
5, yes, come on. Let's go. 10 days out, come on, bro. Let's go. Good, keep that mind the muscle. Let's go, let's go. Push. And again, 1 for luck.
2 more, 2 more.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Squeeze, and another. Mind in the back, mind in the back. Squeeze. Oh, it's good, mate. Good. Shit. Okay. Let's finish strong here. Finish strong. Okay, let's do it. 1. Let's hit that number, bro. Come on. 2. Excellent. 3. 4. Perfect. 5. That's it. Let's go. Let's go. 5 more. 1. I got you. Let's go. 2. Excellent. 3 to go. Come on, we got this. Yep. 2 more. Haven't even helped. Yes. 1 more. Let's go. Big one, Justin. Nice. Well done, mate. Build it. Easy, easy, easy. Good. Let's go. Right where you want to feel it. 2. Let's hit that 7 number. Let's go. Good. Come on, Justin. Let's go. 4. Nice. Come on. Yep. And again. Come on. 4. Let's go. 2 reps. Squeeze. And 1 more. Squeeze.
So we've done
there we go.
Some supersetting, some straight setting, some supersetting. We'll go back to an exercise where we do some straight sets again. It's been a good variety of pulls and rows, which is how I like to train. The other thing I like to mix up is a combination of grips, pronated and supinated. I also like to do, dual arm movements and some unilateral movements. I was thinking a unilateral to finish, but what I will do is we'll use this supported T-bar row here. Haven't done anything wide, so with Benny we've done quite a few narrow or neutral grip movements. So we'll jump on this one. We'll go 2-hand, overhand, the pronated grip, nice and wide, and we'll target that upper back. Some force reps to finish, and that'll finish us off nicely. Alright, let's put some weight on it. Commonly with this exercise, as Benny brought up before, because you're supported on the chest, it can limit your oxygen intake, but that's good. And we'll see when we load it right up, but you actually breathe quite nicely on that. The other thing I find sometimes with these sorts of machines, particularly with me, can put some stress on the lower back, but in that one you don't feel anything. It's good.
Even the positioning on that one, quite often I find with my height it's a little bit difficult to get into a comfortable position on these supported T-bar rows because they can almost be up to my chin. This one, even being shorter, I found it was really comfortable. Again, wasn't too much pressure on that midsection, so it is still always going to be a bit of a challenge to breathe, especially during those heavier sets, but that was good. That was really good, nice and smooth.
Come on. Awesome.
This is definitely my kind of workout where we're moving through them really efficiently, getting it done. You don't really want to have to spend any more time in the gym than what you have to. Don't get me wrong, it's still a highlight of my day, and I absolutely love training. It's one of my biggest passions in life, but it's still important to remember that there is plenty of life outside of the gym as well. So a lot of people think longer is better. Not necessarily. Really, if you're pushing to your limit and going 100% each set, around 60 minutes I find is around the sweet spot. Legs is a little bit longer, I find. Your rest is a little bit longer between rounds, but I think we've got this done in about 60, and the back is feeling nice and tender. Well cooked, like a lamb shank.
That's it, buddy. That's it. Come on. Up. Nice. Up in. Oh, good set. Come on.
I like to do this sometimes. A 21 type movement. So you can do it on a lot of things. You can do it, traditionally it's done barbell curls for biceps. Recently I've done it a little bit on seated rows. I'll show you what I mean on this set here. So we're gonna do our compound movement first. Now I'm sure I've gotten way ambitious, but we're gonna drop a plate off and we're gonna break it down 7, 7, 7. So I'll do the bottom 7 first, then I'll do the top 7 second, and then we'll do 7 full range to finish. So if Justin isn't fatigued enough as it is, he will be after spotting me on this set. Okay, full range. 7, 6, 8. That's kind of what it looks like. We went bottom 7, trying to mainly just move my scapula. Top 7, focusing on squeezing particularly through that upper back. Then our last 7 were just in 7's reps. So trying to negotiate that full range, top to bottom. It's the first time I've done it on that machine. I thought I'd just try it there. Again, training instinctively. Excellent. Let me know when you need it, mate. Come on. Come on. Let's go. 6. Let's go. 7. Nice. Just that last bit. Come on. 8. 2. Up. Nice. And get a big one up and get a squeeze. Squeeze. That is a wrap here. We just got done back. It was a great session with Mr. Justin Wessels himself. We hit it from every angle. We were just saying then, it was a really good session. That's what you should feel with a big muscle group like back, is an all over feeling of fatigue. It is a large muscle group. It does require a lot of energy and output. So make sure your nutrition and hydration is on point for a day like that. Maybe time it around a higher carb day as well, so you can get maximum output. So I would say back is up there with legs as one of your most physically demanding workouts. And I was just saying to Justin, man, this is wet, so that's always a good sign of a good session. I'm feeling pumped, even though we're both low carbs. I really enjoyed that. Now it's time to get some shakes into us and some food.
Done, I agree with that.